Tuesday, everyone, from GardenStateWeather.com, GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com. Also available now on Twitter, YouTube, and WhatsApp, or What's Up. Premium meteorology for the northern mid-Atlantic and the national regions as well. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith on this gorgeous but breezy Tuesday, the 16th of June, 2020. And we'll start out with the national water vapor, low-level water vapor look here of the country here. Here's our upper level low, which has been spinning out across the Ohio and Tennessee River Valley area. A couple of vortexes working its way around. We have an upper level diffluence and divergence here, which is a streamline of east to southeast winds here, and all the winds out of the northeast here over the northern mid-Atlantic and New England as high pressure builds over the top of this closed off upper level low. So we've got onshore winds today, rip current risks here along the Jersey Shore as well. I'll be back at the beach tomorrow. Just took today off. Needed a break from the sun and the walk. Got the monsoon season still continuing across the desert southwest here. Here's another upper level low beginning to get organized, or it's starting to look like it's going to become an upper level low here across portions of the northwestern Pacific coast here. And let's take a look at some other things here nationally. If we look at the composite radar, and we can do this, pull this up right now. Here's some spokes of energy here spinning around. Their vorticity maximum, some rain here along the Carolina coast. Let's see if we can just stop this here and get this all the way to the last frame here. Yeah, so our upper level low is now over the Carolinas now, which is drifting south and east. Look at all of this dome of high pressure over the north, which is producing an onshore wind flow, and that's why we have high rip current risk through tonight and early tomorrow as well across the Jersey coast. This is going to continue to move and evacuate out to sea with high pressure over the top here. So it's a very blocky pattern that's setting up here. We've got lots of vortexes here across the Intermountain West, northwest coast here as our low begins to come on shore to Washington and Oregon this afternoon. So we have some applied precipitation here in this flow here across the upper mid, across Montana and Idaho, and also a little bit of monsoonal rains which are dying off just a little bit over Arizona. A little bit more upglide here across showers and some spotty thunderstorms here across southern Texas. But the main story is high pressure over the top of us and a closed upper low across the southeast. National real-time temperature analysis this morning from the eastern United States time zone of 11:30 this morning. As of this broadcast, temperatures are in the low upper 60s and low and mid 70s. Where it's raining here across the Carolinas and there's lots of cloud cover, temperatures are naturally going to be cooler with that rain-cooled air. Temperatures there in the 60s. We're back into the 80s, nothing unusual here in Florida. Everybody else is pretty hot across the Midwest and the Southwest as well. Mexico, again, continuing in the morning regime here. It's probably around 8:30 in the morning, and temperatures are in the 80s and 90s already into the desert Southwest, and that will continue. Our new low pressure center area moving into the Pacific Northwest, providing cool and cloudy weather here with temperatures in the 50s. If we took a look at the 24-hour temperature change here nationally, where it's raining, it's cooler. And across the southeast where it's cloudier and we've had some showers and thunderstorms, it's naturally cooler over the last 24 hours. But it's starting to warm up here just a little bit. Across the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes area, and across the Northeast, including portions of southeastern Canada, Quebec, and Ontario as well. And this hour at 11 o'clock this morning, Eastern Time, nationally, the dew point temperatures are pretty comfortable here in the 50s, which is quite good. Anything over like 60, 65 degrees Fahrenheit would indicate, problems, but it's very moist down in here, but still, this doesn't look too bad and very dry across the Intermountain West and, of course, here in Mexico and the desert Southwest. So the dew points look pretty good to me. Let's take a look at the 10 millibar, 10 meter actually, just right around the surface here, the winds and sea level pressure here. Here's our upper level low, and well, here's the upper level low is here, and the surface low is off the Carolina coast now. And all the winds are out of the northeast, and they're a little gusty here across the coast. We'll get into the observations in New Jersey and the northern mid-Atlantic in just a moment. See, pull up the screen just a little bit here. This is the national weather hazards here. Lots of red flag warnings where the atmosphere, I just showed you the dew points are extremely dry here through the Colorado Rockies here, Idaho, Montana. We've got some winter storm watch. No, that's not a winter storm watch. This can't be, but we'll take a look at it. Winter weather advisory, actually, yeah, in portions of Montana. This is crazy. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. But red flag warnings where all the pinks here are. So you got to be careful out there if you're in these areas of the country, or know people that are, or family members, because that means that fire can start reasonably quickly. We have some flash flood watches here for the North Carolina coast here, especially around the Outer Banks area and the counties surrounding the Outer Banks here. But everything else looks pretty quiet. Wind advisories here in the upper Midwest, in the upper plains here, and the Dakotas, North and South Dakota. That looks reasonable at this time as well. Yes, we are in the month of June, the middle of June, and across the portions of the upper Midwest here, we have heavy snow possible above 6,000 feet. Where? Beaverhead, Madison, Jefferson, and Gallatin counties here through a Wednesday morning. So, it's just hard to believe that that's actually happening here, but it is. And right here in New Jersey, things are pretty quiet right now, and it's just a gorgeous day of mixed clouds and sunshine. We'll get back to the local forecast in just a moment. And for the Jersey coast, we have some small craft advisories in effect until midnight tonight for ocean counties south through the Delmarva. Let's take a look at some observations here. If we pull this up, we'll pull this up at Sandy Hook. Oh. Okay, that's not working out. There we go. Sandy Hook this hour is 67 is the air temperature. That's a little chilly. We have an east-southeast wind at about veering at about 112 degrees, 13 miles an hour with gust up to 11 knots. So that's not too bad. Gust up to 13 miles per hour, but did take today off. So far, the max temperature was 68. The water temperature is 66, and that's come down a little bit because it was higher than that. It was in the low 70s a couple of days ago, and probably that onshore wind out of the northeast is driving some of that colder water from off the Long Island Sound and the East Bank rivers of the Rockaway and Raritan areas into Sandy Hook proper, into the Atlantic side and into the Bay side as well. Seabright has a water temperature of 71, so that's a little warmer. And if we get down to Monmouth Beach, it's not showing us the water temperature, but basically it's a little bit chilly here on the northeast flow, but temperatures are still warmer for this time of the year. Even in the oceans here, the temperatures are normally in the lower 60s, and they're already in the upper 60s and lower 70s, and variations of wind control from off the ocean is going to dictate the cooler water, and obviously there's a high rip current risk across all of the Jersey beaches for today and tonight. And back in Jersey Camp Land, we've got temperatures here at the low to mid 70s. It's a little cooler than normal for this time of the year, near normal in some spots. Across the ocean fronts here, temperatures are in the 60s, obviously, because the wind is off the ocean this afternoon. And I'm pretty sure we do not have any heat indexes this afternoon. And the dew points, once again, they are very comfortable making the relative humidity values this afternoon at about 12 noon this afternoon, if we can get into this. See if it shows up. 12 noon relative humidity values in the 30s and 40s here. A little higher along the coast where there's some cloud cover. We want to take a look at the visible satellite here, which is probably, again, from Rutgers, not going to show up. Probably won't. It hasn't in weeks. I don't know what's wrong with that. Mostly clear skies along the coast this afternoon with that onshore flow, but still a little breezy, high rip current risk here across all of the coastal waters of New Jersey. Small craft advisories as well for ocean down south. Here's our storm system exiting well south of the region. And over the interior this afternoon, some puffy cumulus clouds showing up across the higher terrain of Pennsylvania, northwestern New Jersey, southeastern New York, and over the region, but clear skies just about everywhere else. Nice. Northern Mid-Atlantic regional temperatures over the next 7 days. Temperatures today in the 70s, which they are now. A little cooler right along the coast in the 60s, which is the onshore flow we had talked about. Temperatures tomorrow, again, the same kind of situation right along the immediate coast. Maybe wind direction is going to change around a little bit, get a little warmer, a little bit more humid here around the coastal regions. But temperatures generally in the upper 70s to around 80, completely normal for this time of the year. And that's where things are going to start changing. Things by Thursday get quite warm over the interior sections in the low to mid 80s, which is quite normal for June. We're approaching the solstice here on Friday, I believe. And then when we get to Friday, which is June 19th, just before, we get into actual summer here, temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s, mid and upper 80s across the region. And over the weekend, well, that's where we're going to find temperatures that are varying. Temperatures will be in the 70s along the coast, mid and upper 80s elsewhere, a few 90-degree readings here and there. Could be dealing with the start of a mini little heat wave here. As we get into Sunday, temperatures away from the coast again, going to be in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Yes, and by the time we get to Monday, again, we can be dealing with temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s across the region. 3 days of 90-plus heat makes a consecutive heat wave, but not all areas are going to see it, but the interior is coming close. And we'll take a look now at the regional temperature anomalies for the next 7 days. We're going to be running a few degrees below normal on the south shore and east ends of Long Island here with that onshore fetch. Everything else here looks good. By the time we get to, Wednesday, we're going to be dealing with some negative anomalies here by a few degrees with cloud cover and some shower and thunderstorm activity coming in. But by the time we get to Thursday, things are going to start evening out a little bit, still below normal in the south where the cloud cover and shower and thunderstorm activity will be located. But the interesting thing is as we get into Saturday, we're going to start running above normal by 5 to 8, 9 degrees above normal, and that trend continues through the weekend on Sunday and Monday. Unfortunately, I'm back to work on Monday. And early this afternoon, we'll go into the National Hurricane Center here for the Atlantic, and this is our disturbance now off of the South Carolina coast. It's non-tropical, and it's expected to remain unfavorable for significant development through tonight, when the low should move inland over eastern North Carolina. Regardless, heavy rainfall still occurring over portions of northeastern South Carolina, southeastern and eastern North Carolina through Wednesday. Right now, the chances of any formation during the next 5 days is about 10%. Meanwhile, down here, we have some showers and thunderstorms a few hundred miles east of Trinidad and Tobago. And it's moving west, moving a tropical wave, a slow development of the system possible over the next couple of days before upper-level winds become less conducive for the system. And again, another 10% chance in the next 5 days of development here. So things are looking kind of quiet right now. That's good. We'll do a national viewpoint now of the European model guidance from last night because this morning's run is still coming in and it's not completed yet. So we'll follow along the gravy train here. Here's our storm system, non-tropical off the Carolina coast with showers and thunderstorms extending out into the ocean and then back again with high pressure off the New England coast and northern New Jersey. So that fetch of southeast to east flow and northeast flow between the two systems continues through Wednesday. High pressure gradually giving way a little bit off the coast, and the low moves inland over the Carolinas as the Hurricane Center has forecasted, and then begins to dissolve itself just a little bit. But there could be still some spotty showers around the region south of the area during the day on Thursday and Friday. Of course, Florida, southern Florida, you're going to be in for the mix of showers and thunderstorms, especially south and central portions and down through the Keys from time to time. I got another frontal system approaching from the upper Midwest here. This was the storm system that is currently off of the coastline here of Washington and Oregon, moving inland with applied precipitation and some snow. Yeah, snow in that we talked about in Montana. And this is going to head as a weakening cold front through the region. So by the time we get, oops, got that off here, get that off. By the time we get to the weekend, things are going to start heating up, but we could have some diurnal afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. So they'll be widely scattered around the New Jersey, New York City metropolitan area. So it's going to be a washout through the weekend, and temperatures are definitely going to rise with heat indice values getting into the 90s. So that could make it feel like a mini heat wave in portions of the area away from the coast Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or at least Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of this week. Doesn't look too much interesting here. Upper trough crossing the Great Lakes and the Ohio and Tennessee River Valley areas by Monday, so there could be showers and thunderstorms, but that looks to be weakening and minoring out too. And by the time we get to, the front just dives south and stays nearly stationary through early next week, but, nothing really looks, out of the ordinary here. The only exception here in the forecast is that, the monsoonal rains continue into portions of Mexico and into Texas across the region as we head into Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. There'll be a lot of rain here in southern Texas and portions of eastern Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula area. The Gulfport areas, that looks like a lot of rain is coming in your direction. Last night's European model guidance showing a lot of rain here over the Carolinas and Virginias and portions of the Ohio and Tennessee River Valley areas. A couple of inches of rain, actually, and many inches of rain across coastal regions of North Carolina. And, of course, the Gulfport regions of Texas and portions of Mexico are going to be in for several inches and bouts of rain as well. Other than that, not too interesting here. And off the 12Z Weather Prediction Center through Tuesday, which today is the 16th, through next Tuesday, the 23rd at 8 a.m. We see the heaviest rainfall here across the Virginias and the Carolinas and the Outer Banks here of North Carolina. Very little rainfall here in the northern mid-Atlantic, including the New Jersey, New York City, Philadelphia I-95 corridor. And, of course, the Climate Prediction Center's forecast for Tuesday, today, hasn't shown up yet because it's still early in the forecast period. Yesterday's forecast, above normal temperatures here, basically everywhere in the reds, which is a large portion of the country. The only anomalies here would be near normal across the outer bands here of the Great Lakes, and, of course, way below normal here across Chicago. And this is for Sunday, the 21st through Thursday, the 25th. We go into the 8 to 14 day, and everything looks like it's heating up. Wow. It's going to be pretty warm across the country from coast to coast from Tuesday, the 23rd through Monday, the 29th, especially Florida and the Intermountain West and, West Coast as well. That looks good. It is summer. We're approaching summer here in just a couple of days here with our solstice. Let's look at the precipitation. Precipitation, if we can get to that. And of course, with the troughing axis is here, wetter than normal, but not so much here in the northern mid-Atlantic and northern New England, but a little wetter here in this area. This is between the 21st and 25th. I'm sure this is going to be adjusted greatly as we, get the CPC's forecast for today for this period. And then from the period the 23rd through the 29th, a little bit wetter here in the eastern United States, dry across the northern continental divide. And Florida looks very dry too. Yeah, I know my beach friends were calling for me today, but, normally I'm not around on Tuesday because I'm normally working. So, we'll I'll be back to the beach tomorrow. I just took another additional day off to make some broccoli rabe in the crock pot. Let's look at the infrared imagery forecast from the NAM model guidance going forward. Again, more of the cloud cover scattered about the region, Washington, D.C. south. It doesn't really look too impressive. There could be some early morning fog, and of course rip currents will still be high through today, tonight, and early tomorrow morning. But, outside of that, if you're going to the beach the rest of the week, looks good. With that upper level low transponding and the surface wave off the coast of the Virginias here, we got that east-southeast wind. But most of the region here, north and west here over the Philadelphia, Washington, I-95 corridor area remains dry. Could be some spotty sprinkles or, shower around, but for the most part through Thursday, basically through Thursday night, everything looks pretty dry here. That's good. Beach weather tomorrow, indeed. Well, this picture is just sublime to me, and I'll be back at the beach tomorrow. I took the day off, cooking some broccoli rabe and making things for the week ahead and just chilling out. I'll be at the beach tomorrow morning and probably for the rest of the week as well. For GardenStateWeather.com, GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com. Now available also on Twitter, YouTube, and WhatsApp. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith. You have a great Tuesday afternoon, evening, and the rest of the week ahead, because I'm not sure when I'm going to be back.